coming up on BCN Today. Today is National Aboriginal Veterans Day. We explain what that means and why it's important. Plus, the UCP government cracks down on rural crime while protecting farmers and ranchers. And Lethbridge College teams up with Canadian Blood Services to give the gift of life. We explain.
Your Canada. Your Southern Alberta. Your stories. From our studios in the heart of Lethbridge, it's BCN Today with Jeanette Roche.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on this Friday. We are creeping up on Remembrance Day in a few days, but today is also a special day. November 8th marks National Aboriginal Veterans Day. The day honors the many contributions of Indigenous soldiers during the First and Second World Wars and other battles like the Korean War. According to Glenn Miller, who is the spokesperson for the Legion, along with this day comes a new Indigenous Veterans Initiative, which just began this year.
This program started in April of 2019, and its primary mission is to help recognize those Indigenous veterans on a permanent stone that already exists that was established by the Last Post Fund by adding their Indigenous name, if the family wishes to have that done. There's nothing more powerful than a person's name, and to really honor that Indigenous veteran, having their name added onto the stone makes a great difference to the veterans' family and all Canadians.
National Aboriginal Veterans Day was inaugurated in Winnipeg in 1994 and has since spread across the country. With Remembrance Day in mind, here's something kind of special out of Parliament Hill. On the Hill, the names of the fallen are listed in the pages of 8 books of remembrance. The books sit inside the Room of Remembrance, which was unveiled earlier this year in Parliament Hill's Visitor Welcome Centre. A solemn video released by the Senate tours the Room of Remembrance. Every morning as the clock strikes 11 o'clock, a uniformed officer turns the pages of the books of remembrance, allowing the names of all who died serving our country to see the light of day at least once a year during this solemn time of tribute. These 8 books record the names of more than 118,000 individuals so that their names and their service will never be forgotten. A new chapter in Lethbridge Military has opened thanks to a donation that arrived at the Galt Museum and Archives in 2018. The Galt Museum will be adding a veterans hockey sweater to their collection. Soldiers returning from deployments in the First World War formed the Lethbridge Vets hockey team. And now the museum will have one of their historic jerseys in their collection. But we won't get a glimpse of it until later today, though. The University of Lethbridge has been named the 3rd ranked university in the classification of Research Universities of the Year undergraduate. Research Info Source Inc. puts together the rankings. This marks the 4th consecutive year the university has been ranked in the top 3. It was 3rd in 2016 and 2nd in both 2017 and 2018. And since being named Research University of the Year in 2012, the U of L has never ranked outside of the top 5. Pretty impressive. The province is cracking down on rural crime. Alberta Justice Minister Doug Schweitzer announced new policies he says will deter and deliver justice to those committing crimes in rural communities. Minister Schweitzer spoke to us from Edmonton about the Occupiers Liability Act.
We've gone on a tour to talk to Albertans about rural crime, and one of the biggest the feedback that we receive is that the system was tilted in the favor of criminals. That's the perception of Albertans, is that it's not working for them anymore. And they want to make sure that they as homeowners have the strongest protections possible for their property rights. And what this does here is it makes sure that people that are committing criminal acts, remember, these people are committing crimes on their property, do not have the right to sue a law-abiding citizen for defending their own property. We want to make sure we send a clear signal that we stand with our property owners, we stand with our farmers, and make sure that they have the strongest protections possible under the law.
To further protect property rights, the UCP government is also raising the maximum fines for trespassing up to $10,000 for first offenses and $25,000 for subsequent offenses. Those found guilty could also spend up to 6 months in jail. The province also created a RAPID Force, which stands for Rural Alberta Provincial Integrated Defense Force. Schweitzer tells us what it's all about.
We have 400 highly trained sheriffs, fish and wildlife officers. What they do, they already have firearms training. And what we're going to do is enhance their training so that they can support our police to respond to the crisis we have in rural Alberta. Because right now we have 1,600 police officers that service rural communities, and they can't get to every call in a timely manner. We heard loud and clear from Albertans that sometimes the response time can be 45 minutes. It could be an hour. And having the ability to have a trained, rapid force allows us to enhance our ability to respond to 911 calls. Sometimes as well, you need a second car. There's a high conflict area or an issue, and you need a second car. This allows us to provide backup to our police. It also allows to alleviate pressure from the police as well, from crime scenes, to free them up to get to other areas to deal with other urgent matters. It's all about making sure you use the right trained person for the right job. It'll help us respond to rural Albertans and deal with the rural crime issue.
That was Alberta Justice Minister Doug Schweitzer joining us over the phone from Edmonton. By the way, the rapid training is underway. Many of those new officers will be available to assist farmers and ranchers by the fall of next year. Meanwhile, some rural property owners say this legislation is long overdue and nothing is more important than protecting your family and your property.
Last year here on the farm, we had some Arab immigrants just drive right down the driveway, and they just started ripping vegetables out of our ground. It wasn't even dark yet. And when I contacted the RCMP about it, he said, yeah, well, if you come and you give a statement, then, and we had the license plate number and everything, and then we'll let them know that they shouldn't be doing that. And come on, I think they know they shouldn't be doing that. But I'll tell you what teaches people to know that they shouldn't be doing it. Guns, bullets, permanent consequences to life. There's nobody that's going to steal somebody's property in broad daylight with the risk of being shot. Nobody.
Also part of the government's new legislation is a crackdown on metal theft. Our legislative reporter Tyler Dawson has the details.
Anyone who's, worked in a warehouse or any sort of facility that has scrap metal kicking around will have experienced this at some point. So they are trying to crack down on that. And the government called it a significant public safety issue. So, maybe not a victimless crime. I think people could easily think of it as such.
Tyler will have more on how the Alberta government is cracking down on rural crime, plus details of a new plan to protect our province's caribou. That's coming up in the second half of our show. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau emerged from his first meeting with his reduced caucus, reflecting on what his party must do to regain support among disgruntled Canadians. Yesterday, he called Western alienation a significant issue for his government. He says there's a lot of work to do to ensure the Liberals are governing for the entire country. Meanwhile, a municipality east of Calgary passed a resolution that says if Ottawa does not treat Alberta more fairly, the province should hold an independence referendum. The resolution was passed unanimously by Wheatland County, a rural municipal district of around 8,700 people. It calls for Alberta to create its own pension plan, which has been suggested by Alberta Premier Jason Kenney. It also wants to see Alberta have its own police force, not the RCMP, and to collect its own taxes and control immigration. The resolution says if Ottawa balks at these changes, the province should hold a referendum on secession in October of 2021. Conservative MP Candice Bergen, who is backing Andrew Scheer, says the party needs to do a better job reaching out and supporting various groups.
I think the key is to communicate the support that we have for women who are going through very difficult situations. We think we need to articulate more that we support as Conservatives healthy, strong, stable relationships, whether they be same-sex or heterosexual. That's what we fundamentally believe, and so if we do a better job of talking about that, and then I also will say two things. There is no doubt the Liberals have used these issues. They've used people and situations as pawns. And I think the media, and I understand why, but some of the media have played to that.
The importance of irrigation to our rural community was discussed at SACPA this week. Water is the economic lifeblood of many in our farming community. A big question that was asked: can technology support increased efficiency?
Efficiency is going to be the future of certainly my business, and that's efficiency of how much water you take out of river systems and use, efficiency of how much water you put in the field, and efficiency as well as how much the crop will need. And the part underlying all that is technology in crop development for producing crops that need less water, technology in how we operate and measure water, technology how we apply the water on the land.
Lazarus's experience in Canada began in 1982 when he inspected the construction of the Lethbridge Northern Main Canal and other water management projects across southern Alberta. Students from all over the world are enrolled at Lethbridge College. The college held an open house Thursday so that people could visit interactive program areas and learn about what they have to offer. Ainsley O'Reilly spoke to students and faculty members about why they should choose Lethbridge College to further their education.
Hundreds of students attended Lethbridge College's open house Thursday to get a feel for what life is like after high school and ask the pressing questions which could determine their futures.
What kind of job can I get at the end of the day? What kind of work can I expect? How long is the program? What's involved?
They're really at an age right now in high school and at a time in our generation where we can ask a lot of questions and make these really informed decisions. So they're coming in with a lot of knowledge, which has been really great and a great surprise.
Some local students attended, while others traveled from hundreds of kilometers away.
We had some people here from Manitoba, some from northern Saskatchewan, some from BC, and we had lots from all over Alberta.
According to Stats Canada, after the sales and service sector, trades positions hold the most opportunities in the entry-level job market, meaning actually doing the job in the field you're studying is proven to be beneficial.
That's the best way to learn, in my opinion, hands-on. Our program, we're in class from half the day inside, half the day outside, and then you just obtain memory better hands-on, I think, and you get hands-on experience.
Well, when you're on the job, you're not sitting in the classroom, you're outside working all the time. You learn a lot more outside, hands-on stuff than sitting in a classroom.
Some students were even encouraged to apply Thursday, right on the spot. For Bridge City News, I'm Ainsley O'Reilly.
Thank you, Ainsley. A warmer temperature is in store for us today, but watch out for that wind. We could get gusts up to 90 kilometers per hour this afternoon. We'll have a full look at weather coming up right after the break, so stick around. Welcome back. Here's a look at your weather highlights for Lethbridge today. Mix of sun and cloud today, high of 14 degrees. Though look at that nice double-digit temperature. 4 degrees is the high for tomorrow. Also scattered clouds in the sky as well. Not too bad though, especially for this time of year, getting those double digits. But then look what's going to happen on Sunday. We're going to dip all the way down to -10. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be snowy. But then the sun will come back out again on Monday, and we'll get a high of 1 degree, a high of +10 though in the forecast for Tuesday. Mainly cloudy skies there though. A mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday with a high of 6 degrees and 9 degrees on Thursday with lots of sunshine. So kind of all over the place. Highs and lows for this time of year. The average high should be around 6 degrees, the average low about -6. But the high temperature on this day was in 2004. It was 22 degrees. The lowest temperature was a freezing -26. That was in 1945. Sunrise was at 7:31 this morning, and the sun will be setting just before 5 p.m. this evening, right when we are driving home from work. We'll get the sunshine in our face. Only those 9.5 hours of sunlight these days. On the west coast, Victoria, a mix of sun and cloud, 11 degrees. 12 degrees in Vancouver, also some scattered clouds there. Scattered clouds in Calgary today with a high of 14 degrees. Edmonton is seeing some snow, actually rain today. We're going to get some heavy snowfall this evening, so a mixed bag over there. Mix of snow and rain in Saskatoon with a high of -8. Regina will see some scattered clouds there with a high of +2, and it's snowing today in Winnipeg. Also snow, lots of snow happening in the east as well. Toronto, snow with a high of 0, high of -3 in Ottawa, high of -1 in Montreal. Snow in all of those cities though, but also a mix of sun and cloud too, so it's kind of all over the place. Fredericton's also going to see some snow today with a high of -1. We're going to see some showers though in Halifax with a high of 6 degrees, and a mix of rain and snow in Charlottetown with a high of 1 degree. Lots of wetness over there. St. John's is going to rain today as well. That was your forecast. Here's a look at what's happening in your community.
Here's your Bridge City News community calendar. The Memorial Film Festival is taking place November 8th to the 10th at the Empress Theatre in Fort Macleod. 6 military-related films will be shown, followed by lectures and a veterans panel hosted by a military historian who will share insights on historical events such as D-Day, the landing at Normandy, the Vietnam War, and more. To purchase tickets, visit McLeodEmpress.com or call 1-800-540-9229. Come and take in a wonderful musical experience, something old, new, borrowed, and the blues. Presented by the Lethbridge Community Gold Band and Brass Choir on Saturday, November 9th at 7 p.m. at College Drive Community Church. Enjoy classical and blues music with both old favorites and new songs. Tickets are $15 and children 12 and under are free. Purchase yours today at CASA or go online to lcbs.yapcity.com. On Monday, November 11th, Remembrance Day ceremonies will be taking place at Exhibition Park beginning at 10 a.m., followed by a gathering at the Cenotaph at noon. Come in support of our brave veterans as we remember those who courageously fought for freedom. For details, visit lethbridgelegion.ca. And that's your Bridge City News community calendar.
Tired of getting pricked by pins and needles when rifling through your sewing and stitching kits? Today's daily life hack will have your fingertips thanking you. Watch this. And as you saw, it also makes the needles easier to grasp because they stand vertically. And that's your daily life hack. What can you expect at the Movie Mill this weekend? Well, how about the start of a Lord of the Rings weekly marathon? Here's Len Benning with another Movie Mill Minute.
We have a family animated film by the name of Abominable. It's set in Shanghai. A young Yeti is discovered by some mischievous teens who name him Everest and take it upon themselves to return him to his family.
I will make sure you get home, back to your family. Everest is just a kid. Stop hitting yourself. This is you and your parents.
Aw, you have your mother's eyes.
For fans of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, have we got a treat for you. Starting this Saturday and for the next 6 weeks, we will present one film each week from the series, directed by Peter Jackson. Make sure you get your tickets early.
I will take each and every one of these dwarves over the mightiest army. Loyalty, honor, a willing heart. I can ask no more than that. Home is now behind you. The world is ahead.
I know what I must do, but I'm afraid to do it.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
There is no other way. There's something down there.
Lethbridge College students will find out what blood type they are as part of the Be Ready to Save Lives campaign. The college is teaming up with the Canadian Blood Services to have hundreds of students donate blood this month. As Loris Alexander explains, helping give the gift of life can come from all ages.
Well, this is our 12th annual blood drive. This year we're calling it Be Ready to Save Lives. We love partnering with Canadian Blood Services because it's an organization that does so much good work. It's literally out there saving lives, and it's something that almost everyone can get involved in. So we have a great chance as a college to really inform our community, get them involved, and help get some donations for blood services.
King Smith says the response to the campaign has been well received. We spoke with students and faculty about rolling up their sleeves, and here's what they had to say.
It helps save lives. There's lots of people who you never know will be in need, and if you have that certain type of blood type, like O negative, that they're really hard to come by, and you're that person, I mean, it's great to help them if you can.
I think it's something everybody should do if they're able to. It's a critical thing that we all need, and at some point everybody's going to need blood. So why not be part of helping somebody else out?
I can't actually donate blood myself, so then rather than like try or not do anything at all, I decide to volunteer. But it's super important because half of the population will end up needing blood themselves, but like only 4% of people in Canada actually end up donating blood. So we're always looking for new donors.
It's so important to donate blood because literally it doesn't take very much time out of anyone's day. There's not very many people who have any adverse reactions to donating blood. And whether it's donating whole blood, plasma, or anything like that, there's so many people that benefit from one simple donation.
Through the campaign, Lethbridge College is hoping to bring in another 225 donations and 100 new donors. For Bridge City News, I'm Loris Alexander.
The province has announced that it's launched a new rapid defense force that will include hundreds of peace officers who will assist RCMP in emergencies. Our legislative reporter, Tyler Dawson, has details coming up right after the break, so stay with us.